Well, hello. Welcome to the next very anticipated series of Meet the Team. This one has been talked about for quite some time in our Smoky Bones culture. I have Mr. Carlton Philyor here. He is the Director of Operations for Ohio, Pennsylvania locations. And I also have Mr. Chip Knott here, who is the Director of Operations for the Florida, Ohio, Kentucky region. So thank you so much, gentlemen, for your time coming in here so you can share your wealth of wisdom and knowledge to all of us in Smoky Bones about how you really elevated our culture here at SB Nation. So I'm going to just start off by asking a quick little intro question, starting off with Mr. Chip Knott. I want to know, first of all, how long have you two known each other? Because this isn't your first rodeo here with us at Smoky Bones.
Well, I have a funny story, Miranda. Clearly, I just want to share a story that will not too many people know, but I've known Carlton for over 3 decades. I'll use only 3 decades. And we actually were promoted in another brand on the same day on the same island, Long Island. So I had the North Shore of Long Island and Carlton had the South Shore. And it's been a relationship that we have always shared, always learned from each other, and always challenged each other. So 3 decades knowing Mr. Philyor.
Yes, it was a great start to a great relationship. Chip and I have been friends from day one. We were kind of baptized, if you will, by fire when we took over the Long Island market for a previous brand, and we've been fast friends ever since.
Wow, that's just insane. You know, it's so funny now and that you're here and you get to work together again on this level. I want to say, Carlton, what is a brief summary of your background and how you came to be a director for Smoky Bones?
Well, I started my career with Red Lobster actually as a busboy, and I worked my way through the different levels of management and ended up as a director of operations. Also, I worked in the support center as director of culinary operations or culinary commercialization for Red Lobster, heading up the team that really produced all of the training materials for Red Lobster from a culinary standpoint. And we also worked closely with the marketing program, the marketing team, in order to ensure that all of the promotions and base menu items had the training support and also the testing and rolling out of limited time offers. So after leaving Red Lobster, I went to work for Carrabba's for a couple years. From there, I was fortunate enough to be asked to help a local restaurant group in the Tampa market. I worked there for a couple of years as well. A very exciting time. We opened a facility that had, it had a food court in it. It had just multiple businesses. We had a test kitchen. We also had, get this, we had a co-work space as well. So, and a lot of event space. After that project, I joined Smoky Bones after Hal came on with the team. Hal and I met each other at Red Lobster as well. And that's how I ended up at Smoky Bones.
Wow, what a journey. Mm-hmm. What a journey. All right, Mr. Chip, what about you?
Well, I actually started, Miranda, with Red Lobster in the Washington, D.C. area and kind of tiered my way up the Eastern Seaboard and ended up in Long Island as the director of operations, where I oversaw the New York City market for many, many years. At that point, I was asked to lead and oversee Tokyo, our 60 Red Lobsters in Japan. So I started getting some international experience. And at the time, Darden was expanding internationally. So I went into being the director and then eventually the VP of international operations for Darden Restaurants, where we opened many, many restaurants. So I think that's in my blood of opening new restaurants. And love that. But doing that around the world was a unique experience. So after that, I left for a short period of time and joined Royal Caribbean. Again, more travel. And I said, you know what, the fit, the culture just didn't seem right for me, and I wanted to get back into operations. So I knew Hal from being a peer at Red Lobster and obviously Carlton, and was able to join this great company back in January of 2020.
Wow. So both of you came from huge companies. I mean, we're talking just 60. Our company could have fit in Tokyo, Japan, and that's where we are, right? These are 600, 700, 800 plus units, the Carnival cruise ship. Why make the decision to come to such a smaller brand like Smokey Bones?
Well, go ahead,
Chip. Well, for me, it was an opportunity to work with Hal. He and I worked very closely together when he was with Red Lobster, and we were pretty good friends, and I thought it'd be an awesome opportunity to work with someone that I know, and so Smokey Bones is a smaller company, as you said, but it's very nimble and it's very forward thinking, and the culture is awesome. So for me, it was an easy decision to join the smaller company and work with Hal, and so I'm here. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, and let me piggyback off that. I really joined because of the leadership team that I got to meet and vet, and just the wonderful transparency in their vision of creating growth. Really excited me, Miranda. So and obviously since the day I started to now, that is being showcased throughout our company, creating growth. And just the terrific stewardship of our leadership team, including Hal, who, like I said, I had known and always respected a great deal. And actually, and many of my peers worked for Hal in the other organization, and they just all shared with me what a terrific leader he was, and that sold me a hello.
Awesome. Smokey Bones is, like you said, Chip and Carlton as well, a progressive, forward-leading brand. We want to be the brand that people come to try new things, grow, learn a different way. We're not reinventing the wheel, but we're kind of just optimizing the wheel and making it a little bit more efficient. What I want to talk in is because we talk a lot about development, strengths, all of that, what we can do to leverage ourselves to be better leaders for our teams and give more to the brand. So I want to open up and ask either Chip or Carlton. We'll start with Chip, and we'll say, what do you think Carlton's biggest strength is?
That's a loaded question.
Well, yeah, I mean, again, 3 decades, remember, so let me do this above the board here, but obviously he's an eloquent speaker. I would say loquacious almost, to the extent that he is a Smithsonian of wordsmith. But I would say that, and he's a fashionista too, and his belt probably costs more money than my entire outfit today. So,
oh God.
So, I didn't go below the line there, but bottom line is, you're asking me his greatest strength. I think, if I were to give a dog tag, and this is our current recognition program, I would say be creative, because Carlton is a methodical thinker. He's strategic. He finds solutions to old challenges, and I respect that a great deal in his leadership.
So for Chip, I would give him the dog tag of drive for results. Chip is very competitive, and he's not shy about that. And it's important to have someone on the team that really is always focused around driving the results of the business. And I appreciate Chip's enthusiasm for results. And he's a smart guy. He's a great leader as well, and he has an excellent sense of humor. So to add to the mix, so we go at each other quite often, back and forth, but it's all in a good spirit, and the spirit of camaraderie, and also in the spirit of helping to the business achieve results by being open to ideas and challenging each other. So I enjoy the fact that Chip challenges the conventional wisdom as well, and it keeps all of us on our toes, and also helps the team come to a better decision. Those are the things that I think highly of Chip for.
Well, thank you. And I'd be remiss at saying, Miranda, we have a wonderful director team, and we support each other. It's a true teamwork, true teamwork attitude that we all have. We do challenge each other, and there's not one of them that I believe that wouldn't give the shirt off each other's back to make sure that we support and drive results for themselves, the company, and our people. So just wanted a great shout out to the rest of our director team, because each one of them, is great at many things, and that sharing is something that we can all learn from and grow from, because it's so open.
Yeah, I will definitely echo Chip's sentiments about the team. Each leader on the team is somewhat different, but those differences helps create a really well-rounded team of individuals that is focused on driving the business, and also developing the leaders that work with us. So that's something that is very important as well.
Yeah, the line that you said there, you said that each of you have different strengths, or somewhat to paraphrase, and that's directly from our Hugh Manifesto as a culture, that none of us have all of the answers, but together that we all do, and that we can help each other find those answers. And it really is, even just seeing it from the opportunity that I've gotten to see, the transparency, the honesty, the fact that you're all there together to help each other and to challenge each other in the right ways to grow. I mean, you hear these stories from everywhere where it's this, backstabbing or this or that. It's so amazing to see you guys really stand together and help each other, which I love to see.
Yeah, let me share one thing. I think it's a real team when you get the hallway chatter at the table, right? So that we address each other professionally and personally, and forthrightly, right? So that's how we all grow. Sort of that ice bucket challenge that me and Miranda have had in the past, and to see her grow in her new role is just awesome. Again, if I were to put a list of accolades that have been achieved on my watch, I'm sitting in front of them. And congratulations again, Miranda, for all you do for Smokey Bones and your tremendous growth. She was a general manager with me in Melbourne, Florida, where I first met Miranda. I know this isn't about her, but I do am thrilled and honored that growth has occurred, which then created growth in behind her, and one of her leaders then became the general manager. So thank you for all you do.
I also want to echo Chip's comments about you, Miranda. It's been a great pleasure working with you. It seems as though you've been in your role for quite a while, given the feedback and the counsel that you've given me, and the opportunities that we've had to discuss issues around HR. And so I really appreciate it, and I'm sure the rest of our peers appreciate it as well. So keep doing what you're doing. You're making a great impact.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much. But this is not about me, but thank you, gentlemen. I do appreciate it. The one thing that I have always said about Smokey Bones, that I will continue to say, is that our culture is unchallenged with what we try to bring to each and every one of our leaders, as well as to our guests and throughout our communities. I wanted to talk a little bit about that culture, because it is near and dear. I mean, it's why I've stayed and grown with the brand, and talking to both of you, I think it's one of the reasons why you guys came on board with the brand. So what is the best thing do you think about our Smokey Bones culture?
Well, I think the best thing about our culture is the inclusiveness of our culture. We invite individuals in, and we want them to be themselves. And we get those individuals, and they come in and they're themselves, and they enrich the environment. They help support our Hugh Manifesto, And just by being themselves and just by bringing their whole self to the company. And our current fire starters, they don't shy away from being themselves. They're authentic, they're hardworking, and they're supportive of each other. So those are there's some great things about the Smokey Bones culture for sure.
Yeah, I actually will jump on that also. I actually took over Miranda as the director of operations in my new region the week that it hit. So with any type of experience that I could muster, it was certainly a challenging, but yet such a unique experience to build relationships with leaders with such character, grit, determination, just that true fire spirit that we have in our culture. They do believe more is possible, right? And to me, that is the most wonderful thing, is to have leaders who believe that we're on this course of creating greatness, creating growth, running balanced businesses. And, listen, in this environment, it was challenging, but I love my team. I challenge my team. My team challenges me back. And certainly I take that to our leadership team also. And they listen and they react and they do something about it. And we can move 62 restaurants very swiftly with the feedback from our operations teams.
Yeah, you brought up COVID, and I mean, Carlton, you didn't start all that much sooner than Mr. Chip did here. And kind of both of you were thrown into a new company, a new culture with new challenges, and then had to navigate the biggest crisis our industry has ever seen. And that was COVID-19 and what we had to do. So if we can just open the dialogue there and talk a little bit about, those struggles and what you guys did to move the brand forward, because, Smokey Bones came out in a forward motion from the pandemic. We made sacrifices together as a team, but when we came out, we were running, which is insane to think that we grew in a pandemic. But I just wanted you guys to kind of talk a little bit about that and what you guys experienced through that.
Well, COVID has certainly been a whirlwind for operations, but I want to start with the RSC. When COVID hit, I think, one of the major reasons that we survived COVID initially is the war room that is our RSC, James and Nicole and Hal and Rachel and all of the folks that were in the war room, so to speak, and coming up with ideas that would help us navigate that environment. I will tell you, it was very difficult out in operations because, we lost a lot of teams, we lost a lot of talent. But what shined brightly in that situation was the grit, and Chip mentioned this, the grit that came out of the individuals that stuck by us and that worked really hard. I have one person in mind is Juliana Christian. She's general manager at the Robertson Township location. I'm actually here today. And I was in awe of the grit that she showed in that at the moment. And it carried through and it's still there today. And she's not the only one, but I want to mention her because I was awestruck, to be honest with you. I had only worked with Juliana for 4 months prior to COVID, and a different side of her came through, and it was very pleasing to see, and it was necessary because she was kind of one of the unofficial leaders in the market. And I think the other general managers in the other restaurants felt her determination to win, and it helped them, step up to the plate and really do a good job and fight our way through COVID. So, it was, and we're still in it. Let's face it, we still have challenges associated with COVID, but we're certainly in a better place now. And we're building on the things that we've started coming out of COVID. So those are my thoughts.
Yeah, I would say we were so unique. The leadership team was, and this is where we have our town hall, where basically all of our leaders come together every Thursday. And that started during COVID, to where each one of our business leaders was front and center, answering the tough questions, sharing what the next steps were. So there was never a guessing game. So people always knew where we were standing as a company, what we all had to do, pulling on the rope to drive us to the conclusion that you've already hit, which I'm so proud of, is we are coming out of it with driving 65, right? We are leading towards the future and creating growth. Just think, we created 2 brands during COVID, the burger experience and wing experience. We are growing restaurants. We're building restaurants with drive-throughs. Such a great time to join this wonderful company. And if we got through what we just got through, which we did, no telling what the future holds in store for everyone on this.
We also opened one ghost kitchen during the COVID-19 period. So that was that's another factor that can really show that we weren't back on our heels. We were leaning forward. The leadership team, operations, marketing, facilities, the whole team came together, and it helped to propel the organization forward in a very difficult time. So, we were lucky, and we're certainly proud and honored to be a part of this organization as a result.
Yeah, as James O'Reilly says, our CEO, we don't play for the name on the back of the jersey. We play for the insignia of the team on the front of the jersey. So it is very well known that, we are a team, and we will get through challenges, and we'll persevere, and we'll win in the end with driving business the right way.
Absolutely.
And Nicole, our CFO, she said it best that first town hall after when we had all of our restaurants finally open. And she says, we went into the pandemic 60 restaurants strong, and we came out 61 restaurants stronger. And I just that still speaks volumes to me all the time, to think where we've moved coming through this huge crisis, and the tenacity and the resiliency of this brand and of our leaders they need a book. They need to write a book about it. Honestly, it's like one of those sports stories that you see, the Mighty Ducks, because we talked about that, but it's definitely an underdog story, Cinderella story, if you will, for the restaurant.
Absolutely.
I want to talk about, because we did mention a little bit about the future. So what are you two both looking forward to, or where do you want to see our brand grow from here?
Well, as we've talked about growth, we all know that the greatest commodity we have is our people, right? And what your team is doing, Miranda, what we're doing individually with our teams to make sure that we have a pipeline of talent, ready now talent, a power of 7, I call it, where if Miranda goes up, she's got 2 business leaders below her ready to take her position. And that creates growth for everyone involved. The number of HMs, hourly managers, that have come up through the ranks during this time just brings joy to my heart, because people do see that we are growing and they want to be a part of it. So we really have to make sure that we stock our bench and with ready now candidates, because as we do, the most critical thing is, in my business, in my world, we shouldn't build the next one until we have the leadership team ready to lead that restaurant for sustained, excellent growth.
Absolutely. So regarding the question about, the future and what it holds for Smokey Bones, I'm excited about the 2 virtual brands that were created during the pandemic, Burger Experience and the Wing Experience. Those brands have been very instrumental in our success as we come through COVID, and they continue to support earnings growth in the organization. So certainly would love to see those 2 brands continue to grow. Love to see Smokey Bones continue to open restaurants. We have 2 on the docket now, and we're remodeling restaurants. But Chip makes a great point. We need people that are well-trained, on the balls of their feet, ready to go get it, right? Ready to create the environment that's necessary to ensure that we deliver great food and service to each and every guest that dines at Smokey Bones and that are partaking in our virtual brands of the wing experience and the burger experience. So exciting times. A lot of great decisions that are going to be made here shortly, I'm sure, about how we move forward. And the potential for this organization is immense. And it's great to be a part of it.
Both listening to both of you, I mean, I'm just inspired. You both inspire me so much with your words. And I can think about conversations that you and I have had, Carlton, Chip, of course, you and me always, all the time. And just the advice that you've given me to get me and help me get to where I am, and the encouragement and also the tough challenges that you both have presented to me to turn the mirror onto myself, as Chip would say, and really ask myself those questions. I mean, it's been instrumental in my growth. So real quick, because we have to close out because it's almost the end of the session, but I just wanted to ask, what is some advice that you could give to the leaders in our brand now that are currently, or even ones that people who do want to join our brand? What are some advice that you can give them?
Well, the advice that I would give is to come into our culture if you're not here and assimilate, right? Learn, about our culture before you judge the culture. I think if once you come into the culture, you'll see that there are a lot of great people. There are a lot of talented individuals as well. And we all work together and we all want to create a great experience for our customers as well as our fire starters. So that would be the advice that I give initially. I also would advise anyone that's currently with us to really focus on development, leadership skill development for all of the fire starters, including our HMs and restaurant managers. If we can continue to improve our leadership development within our brand, the sky is the limit. Today's fire starters or today's employees, they want to know the whys, right? And they want someone that can develop them throughout their tenure with us. So and if we focus our energy on development, again, the sky's the limit, because those individuals are going to take over different positions within the company, and then they're going to lead individuals, and they're going to understand the importance of development and really just focusing on people and in the way that helps support, our culture and our growth.
Yeah, I would say that my philosophy always pretty much stays the same as Miranda, but it's know where you want to go, have a vision of where you want to be, and be successful by design. It's not luck that you're successful. We have great systems and processes. Follow those great systems and processes and lead those at such an outstanding rate that people follow. So when we follow our systems, whatever it is, because I love barbecue and I love our barbecue and I've eaten a lot of our barbecue, but when we follow our systems, from how we first bring on and orientate a new fire starter to how we cook our wonderful brisket, it's a process. It's a success by design. So I would say also to the young leaders is build your personal brand board of directors. Reach out other peers, learn from your peers. See if someone is achieving a result and say, how are you doing that? That sharing, that personal feedback to each other helps each other grow. So understand where your roadmap wants you to take you. Have your areas of responsibilities clearly defined and achieve the results. Because as I say, it's not always the knowing, it's the doing. So again, I do want you to be the Harvard subject matter expert on our systems and processes. And the rest is history. You will see a nice stairway to heaven for your professional and your personal development.
Well, thank you so much, gentlemen, for both your time. I know that you guys are very busy leading a brand, but thank you so much for your time, for coming in here and sharing it. Our goal with this series is to inspire the current and future leaders of Smokey Bones, teach them the art of the possible, show them success by design, and get them thinking a little bit about those questions. So I think we did that today, but thank you so much. And again, I'm so thankful both of you joined Smokey Bones. You know, I've been in the brand for 12 years, but I can say that I have not had the leaders with your business mindset, your acumen, and your drive to make me better since you two both joined the brand. So thank you.
Thank you for those kind words, Miranda. I really appreciate it.
And
Jeff,
thank you both for all you do. And it's an honor and a privilege to work with you daily for many more days. So have a great day.
You too. Goodbye.